Round one, fight!
The Grim Reaper Gamers are a 25 and over gaming community with members spanning the globe, playing games across all genres, but our roots are in first-person shooters. Bring your thick skin, drink of choice, and grab your controllers. GRG members are on nightly with official community nights every Wednesday. And now, it's time for the ReaperCast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It's ReaperCast number 62. I am the often imitated but never duplicated Johnny Hustler. And with me is the usual panel of guests, along with a new member spotlight. So without further ado, let's go on. Second chair, my usual co-host, the man who just lives to make things just tough as hell on me in this show. Jammer, how the hell are you? What you drinking? What you playing?
Well, I am going to refrain right now because I almost did already, but I'm going to wait. I'll have my spot later on to make fun of you. Hey, John. First, before I forget this, guy I knew who's a Marine, did basic training. He's going to Okinawa pretty soon. Knew him as a kid, always wanted my gamer tag, and I would never let him have my gamer tag. And now he's a listener and enjoys our podcast. So, shout out to Travis, who's going to be, shipping off or deployed or whatever the fuck term Marines use. Where's Gunny when we need him? That he's poor bastard's actually listening to our cast. So, if there's other Marines, thank you for your service, guys, and all that bullshit. So anyway, John, hey, how are you?
I'm good, and I gotta say on the record, if the guy listens to this show and enjoys it, then boot camp had to have been a cakewalk for him.
Yeah, the gas chamber or something fucked up a brain cell somewhere. I played a little bit of Warframe tonight from Grumpy's thing, and actually it was pretty cool. I liked it for the first mission while somebody kept interrupting me on Discord, but I'm not going to name names. He might be a Grumpkin. And yeah, I've been playing a bunch of South Park Stick of Truth, which is fucking funny. Really good game. I picked it up on the Steam sale, and I'm really having a blast. It's like you're being in an episode of it. And I'm drinking a fat tire, and I'm trying to think if I want to keep talking because I know right now Lala is starting to get frustrated that it's not his turn yet. So it's like, how long do we stretch this out, John, before he gets upset?
I'm not upset at all. No, I'm
okay.
Happy.
All right.
Yeah, he's already hit his 15th shade of red, and we're 2 minutes in. So, before he blows his top, the third chair, the other regular fixture on the show anymore these days, he is the head Grumpkin. He is the man with the plan who owns the site, and yet makes Grex do all the work. Lala Calamari Jack, how the hell are you? What you drinking and what you playing?
You guys keep talking about work and like getting paid, but I don't remember agreeing to any of that. Also,
we take our pay and abuse.
Never imitated, but and never game alone again. I don't know.
No, I said
anyway,
never duplicated.
Never game alone again. I don't know. Anyways, private joke.
Welcome to the asylum.
Yeah, welcome to the asylum. Playing Paladins a lot of Paladins and Elder Scrolls as usual, and I cannot wait until tomorrow when I can finally sink my teeth into the Destiny 2 beta.
Hearing some good things. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Hearing some really good things about Control, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on.
Sure. And as far as what I'm drinking, real quick, I'm drinking Yard's Philly Pale Ale. So
Pale Ale, good choice. All right, and tonight we have a fourth chair. He is newer to the site, new-ish to the site. He's been around for a while, actually. We've been trying to get him on, but the airline industry has kept us from actually getting him on there to the point of even tasing a certain host. But anyway, fourth chair, Jeff, how the hell are you? You're going to have to pronounce your tag for me because I am never sure how to put this.
Well, which one?
Well, the discourse name.
All right, tag, right? It's YVOVD, Jean-François. My real name, Jeff, as you most of you guys know me by. YVOVD is just a play on the actually airport where I work at, which is the YVO Airport in VD, the town that I'm in, which is Valdor. So that's why that's where my my good old not screen name, but gamer tag comes from.
Okay, that's good. We still don't understand it, but that's fine because we're stupid.
Yeah, here's real. How the fuck do we pronounce it in game? Like,
YVOVD.
how do you say like cover here or go there?
Come here, just call him Frenchie.
Yeah,
that could work. See, Frenchie.
I just say Jeff because I had you're one of the few I call by their real name because I'm like, how?
Mm-hmm.
Is he actually allowed in our party since he's from Canada?
We do have problems against Canada, even though we've hired staff from Canada.
Yeah. I don't pay them that much. I pay them even less.
Yeah.
See, it's been 5 minutes already, and already the first comment about Canada came in, surprisingly from you, but...
Hey, if you listen to the show with beers on it, we're showing great restraint by waiting 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Welcome, people, to the great show tonight.
Yeah. Now get your lube because it's question time.
Oh yes, question time. That's right. We have a what's been a rarity on this show of late, a new member spotlight. Since we have someone new to the show, so Jeff, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Hit me with your best shot right there.
Okay, well, you've already killed my first question because you did explain your gamer tag. so I guess I'll move on to how long have you been gaming?
How long? See, I would say pretty much since the Super Nintendo era, NHL 94, so I would say
Good game.
93. See, exactly, great game.
Yep.
And started off with
such a
Super
good game.
Nintendo, so it's been quite a while, I would say, and then move on Nintendo 64, PS2, and then so forth all the way to Xbox One today.
I always joke that this is the point where we actually ask the guests to age themselves, but then somebody says Super Nintendo, and I feel really old. But so
yeah, please. I'm sorry, Jeff. I have to hang up on you now. Make us feel old.
What brought you to GRG? What did you see that you said I gotta take this abuse?
I think the abuse is just what I wanted exactly. It's just I was looking for abuse, and I found you guys. Like, that's it. No, actually, what it was is just finding some guys to play with are more or so older than me, more my age and so forth. People that have lives, that have children and knows what it's like 9 to 5, and really just have a community. And I lucked out with you guys, even though I was not expecting the amount of the amount of fun I would have with you guys, and it's been amazing since day one. You guys are really welcoming, really great, lots of fun. That was really that was really what I was looking for, and I actually lucked out on that. So,
hey John, I just took my button off the hang up button from him kissing our ass and saying he likes it here, so he can stay on now.
All right, good deal.
Yeah,
you get to stay, Jeff. You made Jammer happy.
yay.
it's a rare thing to do.
All right, last of the pre-canned questions, at least from my end. What would you call your favorite moment, either in GRG or gaming in general?
Gaming in general, favorite moment would be, it's gonna sound corny, but when I was able to actually purchase my own first console by myself, which was the Nintendo 64. I was a kid, I did like the whole summer thing, chores, like, mowing the lawn, and I was able to get it, and I was just, and with Ocarina of Time, which is by far my number one favorite game in the world. I play it every 6 months. Actually, I had it on N64 and GameCube when it came out afterwards. Now on 3DS, Ocarina of Time 3DS. It's that game, that fair moment, when you beat the game, is just one of been my highlight. And as far as GRG go, just playing Battlefield with you guys and getting just that kill-death ratio of 1 kill for 100 death. Like, yay, I killed someone, pretty much.
Oh, that's pretty high for
that.
GRG standards.
Yes.
So
Yeah, you're almost MLG in our clan with that number, with those numbers. All right, this is where I unleash the hounds, so to speak. My canned questions are done.
Well,
Time to
you
send
didn't
it to the
answer
others.
You should
All
ask
right.
another one, assuming that you're not a professional gamer. What's your day job?
I actually work as a customer service agent for our nation's airline, Air Canada, and pretty much just handle passengers day in and day out. That's pretty much just my day job of getting abuse from passengers.
Yes. One of the worst industries ever to work in. He works in, so he fits into GRG because we could beat the shit out of him, and it's like just a normal day at work.
Hell, we're
Just,
probably nice compared to what he
probably
has to
nice,
deal
yeah.
with on a daily basis.
See, I actually, that question actually, I actually waited, and then it's like pretty much, yeah, you guys are worse. Hands down.
I've actually been nice to you.
We haven't
I
even
could be
tried
much
yet.
worse. Yeah. I could
warming
be
up.
much easier. I got questions. Have you ever hit a moose driving on your way home?
I have not yet.
Okay.
I've seen some driving home,
Yeah.
just late at night, but I have a sharp eye, so came close maybe once or twice in my 15, well not 15, but 12 years driving.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been lucky.
Now,
Crossing finger there.
You're pretty far north in Canada, correct?
Yep, I'm pretty much I'm north of the 48, which is in Canada standard. It's not that high,
Yeah.
but actually in Quebec standard, as far as the province go, it's pretty high. It's like I'm about an hour away from the end of the road where it just gets to that gravel road and goes up to the reserves up north. So yeah.
So and people actually fly to where you live. Like people want to fucking go where you live.
They want to leave.
Are they trying to just leave, or there actually planes come in where people actually land? And when they do land, do you ask them, "What the fuck are you thinking?" As they get off, or
we actually give them money, like thank you for
Oh,
visiting
okay.
us. It's like like a little like
Bribes.
it's like a bribe, or a little incentive, to come visit us. Like, yeah, come here, we'll give you $100.
so like, and I got one more, and this is actually, and then because we got moved, and Jack's got his. What? And this is actually a good question, and not one of my jerky questions. Like what's a really hot day where you are?
Hot day would be today, which is about 30 degrees Celsius, which I'm gonna
That's
go
you
look it
gotta
up. Yeah,
Celsius shit.
It's like
add
1,000
60
degrees
divided by-
Fahrenheit.
it's like 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure. I think I got that math right.
86.
86?
is the number. Yeah,
so that's like a really hot day. Is like 86.
yeah. Over here it's a hot day, and it's really just.
I'm not going to ask about the cold days because my balls will shrivel up into my chest as soon as you even tell me the temperature. So go ahead, Jack.
All right. So since I don't fly much, I'm not very familiar with airports. Everything I know about airports, I've learned from Airplane, the movie Airplane. So I have a few questions based off of that. Do you speak jive?
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever seen a
Actually,
grown man naked?
Nope.
Do you like
Luckily, no.
gladiator movies?
Dude, you never
I
looked
do.
in the mirror?
Oh, well, I mean, and
I'm getting
other
rid of
men
red-
naked, no. Me
All
and
right.
myself, obviously, yes.
And have you ever been to a Turkish prison?
I have not yet, but I've heard that it's a great summer vacation, apparently.
And then the real question: what games you playing right now?
You're playing right now, 7 Days to Die. Just got it a couple of days ago. Great game. I've been trying to get a whole grasp of Kerbal Space Program on the Xbox, which is quite painful with the control schemes and the constant bugs and crashes. But it's a great game nonetheless, and with that comes Elite Dangerous as well. Then pretty much those three games that I've been playing as of late.
I would love to play Elite Dangerous, but Grumpy will not show me how to, and it just makes me sad. I fire it up, I'm all alone. If Grumpy would one day show me how to fly a spaceship, I'd be so happy.
Well, to be honest, there's a lot, like really big, like learning curve. To be honest, and it's really just surprisingly, I was surprised at how deep it is, and I actually recommend it. Just try it on your own. Do it, man. It's a great game.
I'm just trying to wonder if Jack was like in space, like and alone, like in Elite Dangerous. I mean, would you eventually just start yelling at the computer components on the ship since there's no other person to yell at? Or
Hey, I was able to take off and land in that game my first night. How long did it take you? Gamer?
like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Moving
2
on, Johnny.
minutes,
We're running late, Johnny.
2 minutes. Oh my God. Have you learned how to land yet in that game?
See? Yeah.
Johnny's talking trash.
I've been nice to you this episode now.
I even learned how to land before you did.
How's that 2.1 hours in Battlegrounds going? Okay, let's move on.
All right. Jeff, thank you very much. Hopefully it was not terribly painful, although I should have expected Jack to bring out questions from Airplane, but for some reason I didn't see it coming. All right. So thanks again, Jeff, for that. It's great to have another new member spotlight, even though you've been with us for quite a while, actually, but you're new to here. So, all right, let's talk about community nights over at grimreapergamers.com/events. You'll find the full calendar. So let's touch on some of the usual nights. Shooter McGavin, first-person shooter Mondays. I saw some Paladins going on, some Ghost Recon, and a little bit of Battlefield going on there. So how'd Paladins go real quick?
That went well. We had a full party going, and we actually won the majority of our matches. So
yeah, and I think we had some Battlegrounds going as well. So ESO Dungeon Dives are going on Tuesdays, which is we're recording right now. That's probably why Jack's so grumpy. He usually likes to be out there doing some PvP. So
yeah,
we're holding him back. No checking on his horse right now.
I will do that later.
As always, Wednesday nights are our community nights geared towards Battlefield 1 right now and Battlegrounds, although the Destiny beta, which drops for Xbox tomorrow, the 19th of July, will probably be where a lot of us are at this Wednesday night. So probably...
Yeah, I expect us to be in the Crucible, forming up a few squads, although it's 4 versus 4, so they're going to be small fire teams.
All right, Jammer, you have something.
Oh, well, besides that, you're taking forever going over our calendar. Just look at the fucking calendar, for Christ's sake. We got a Paladins interview to get to in a little bit.
All right.
Two quick things. One, as I say all the time, if you're looking to play a game, post something in the forums. Don't wait for us. Spam people out. Everybody's looking to play games together. That's why we're in this community. So don't wait for scheduled nights. If you think our shitty schedule, you're like, oh shit, I don't feel like playing ESO tonight, and you want to play Warframe, put a fucking post up. Other people might want to play it. Secondly, as Jeff is our guest tonight, if you think, holy shit, they even let him on the show? Well, shit, I can do it then. Well, let us know. Send a PM to me or Lala or John or all three of us, and tell us you want to be on the cast. We'll get you on. Go ahead.
First off, to touch on some of Jammer's points, the forums are at forums.grimreapergamers.com. That's where you post when you want to find some other gamers to play with on any given night. And also, you can email us if you want to be on the show, ReaperCast at gmail or at grimreapergamers.com. That's again, ReaperCast at grimreapergamers.com. So,
no Gmail.
No Gmail. Drunken Friday Battlefield 1 and Friday Night Raids round out the weekly schedule. Again, grimreapergamers.com/events. All right, Lala, what's pissing you off lately, buddy?
Okay, so my rant this episode is about players playing games where they have roles or specific tasks and then they don't do them. So if you play like a game like Paladins, and you pick a healer and you go run around as a flank or going around not staying with your group healing people, if you're playing as a tank and not fighting on the objective, what the fuck are you picking those characters for? Why play a team-based game with an objective and not play towards that objective as a team, fulfilling the role you picked? Amazing. So anyway, that's my bitch. It's short and sweet. I don't get it. And this is why I like to game with GRG and get a full squad, so I don't have to deal with the complete idiots out there in random land.
Look at that, Jeff. See, he included you as not being an idiot right there. So that's like a win in your book.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was waiting to get called out.
But yeah, and then the people that plays tanks that don't move and accept every single bullet shot at them. John, press your bumper and move. What? Anyway.
All right. Enough of that. All right. Gaming news. We've got some interesting stuff going on. First thing on, a favorite of GRG, Ark Survival Evolved, did what some people might call a misstep. They did announce their release date, August 8th. However, they bumped their price to $60 already, and they actually did this a couple weeks ago, so they did it about a month early. getting a lot of hell from the game development community and a lot of gamers as well. So what do you guys think? $60. I know they're coming out of early release, but they've kind of maybe misstepped a little bit. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I think they really definitely jumped the gun on that, giving a chance to the players, before it comes out actually, to get maybe the game at a rebate price, seeing that, it's been on, that, release beta phase for so long, alpha, game preview, whatever you want to call it. I think they would have definitely probably get a lot more players, to jump on that bandwagon. They would have said, like, you know what, come like August 8th, price going to bump up, get yours, copy before it gets, the full release. And I myself would have jumped on that like cheaper price than having to pay $60, because right now I'm like, I'm gonna pass, So I think they really did jump the gun on that.
John, the Steam reviews at least, they all seem to be people bitching that already own the game, which seems to be a common thread, just like the GTA with the modders, so they went in there and they shit all over it, but they purchased the game. My question, Jeff, is actually a rare exception to me. Is people are upset by it. I think they did it a little early. They should have waited till it was a full release game. But what percentage left of people that didn't buy the game or were waiting to buy the game anyway? Pretty much if they bought the game, they're interested in the game. They weren't waiting on it. I think Jeff's a rare exception there.
Yeah, that's a similar point I had in the forums. I think I missaid it or mistyped it or whatever. The people that want to play Ark have already bought it. And they may have actually just moved on. The game's been in preview for how long now? I don't know. I know there's a lot of content or whatever. They continually update it, but is it really worth $60, especially when it's been out for so long? I can see them maybe, I don't know, sell on DLC, keep it $30, but then sell the extra islands and dinos as DLC or something. But I think the bump to 60, especially now after it's been in that preview status for so long, it doesn't make any sense. Do they really expect to get that many new gamers where they're going to profit from this?
Yeah, well, to kind of continue on that point, they're definitely not. I don't think you're going to get their money's worth at this point. Especially, like you were saying, they maybe could have gotten that DLC route, would have been a lot more lucrative for them. And like I was saying earlier, like maybe now that people were maybe on the fence like I was for so long, if they would have, known, like, oh, you know what, I'm going to get it now. That way, if I don't, like it, at least I'm going to, save some money. Versus right now, like, if they want to get him, they have to pay full price. And it's like, that kind of like it in this game, to be honest. I played the demo and I was really interested. But to that point where I'm going to pay $60 for it, nah. So that's where the problem that I think that they really shot themselves in the foot there.
60 American dollars versus 60 Canada dollars. What's that, like the exchange rate? Like $1 million Canada?
One donkey.
One donkey, one moose.
Yeah.
One moose antler and
a can of maple syrup.
Yeah. Done.
I think where they really misstepped here was doing this before release. A month before release, it's still setting at early access. The perception of $60 at early access, yes, most of the reviews ripping it are people that have 500 plus hours on it. But it is damaging those who were on the fence. That, and there's still going to be a handful of people who don't want to get into early access. Now they're going to be a little hesitant because a lot of these games that come off of early access don't sit at $60 normally.
Well,
Kerbal came up, about $10, and Space, certain other games, Space Engineers just raised a little bit. Not many of them bumped, some 50% or 100% actually.
And we got to move on in a minute, but in its defense, for people that enjoy the game, you get more than $60 of entertainment out of the game.
Yeah.
So, but it's just how they did it. It's just.
Oh yeah, it's the perception because the content's there. There's a lot more content than most $60 games.
But in their defense, we talk about early access and how all these games are early access now. They're not. They're still learning the process. All developers of okay, how do we take it out of early access? And what's that process? And they're the first ones that took the misstep. So it's a learning process, and other companies are going to see that, and they're going to adjust to that. Like you said, Kerbal went up $10. Now they know not other developers aren't going to probably raise it $30 because they're going to remember what this happened. So I think it's still an early thing in gaming, even though it's been a few years of early access now, where they're still learning how to manage that from a business side.
I have my final point is when I played it early at the get-go. When it was first released, we played on server 115, and GRG amazingly owned that server. We did pretty well as a tribe, but the game was kind of buggy, wasn't really optimized. I don't know. I haven't played it in a long time. Have they cleared that stuff up, or does it still play that way? Is it still kind of jerky, moving around, frame tears and FPS drops and whatnot? Is it now a polished game where it plays a lot smoother? I've not played on Xbox. I don't know if Johnny, have you played on Xbox lately or?
No, I've been on PC, and while it's a smoother experience, there's still problems. I mean, the latest update blew up Ragnarok with a couple of mods, and I mean, our save file was just kaboom, trash.
Yeah, you can't hold them against say that a mod is a problem. Because that's a whole different. That throws a whole monkey wrench into
not usually. Although at this point most mods should be pretty smooth, and most of them are, but a couple of them are still good 1 minute, buggy the next. So when an update comes along, so it's because there's still some fine tuning going on in this behind the scenes, with difficulty, hit points, whatever, and that's where it blows up mods. All right, moving on. Speaking of early access, one of the great pro wrestling games has come out for Steam, early access. Fire Pro Wrestling World is what they're calling this one. Jammer and I have this. It is a classic series. I have spent way too much money for this series in the past. Really impressive, especially with the Steam Workshop support already. I think, what are we looking at? About 5,300 wrestlers that have been added.
Yeah. When I did the agenda like a week ago, it was 2,000.
Yeah, it's 5,468 right now.
It's crazy.
As of 20 minutes ago.
And they're really well done. I mean, it's not, if you're looking for the presentation and that shit, go play the WWE game if you want the presentation. But I remember playing that, and they try to make it serious with all the combinations and shit. It was hard. And it shouldn't be hard. It should be just a fun game. So this game's totally customizable. But the only thing is, if you want that storyline, the soap opera part of it, that's going to have to be in your own mind and your imagination. And if you want to build that type of thing, but it's a lot of fun to play. It's like, if I take the creator wrestler and somebody made an Andre the Giant and somebody made the Undertaker, I can have them, wrestle. So it's very well done.
Yes, very well done. The mod support, the community support is huge. It's really cool stuff. So quick touch on that. It's going to be coming out early access in a handful of months and then hitting PS4 as well. So the last item on gaming news, and it's the big one. The Destiny beta, it hit today, the 18th of July for PS4. It hits tomorrow, the 19th of July for Xbox One. This is what people are looking forward to. Yes, sir.
John, our PC group is gaming. Please do not leave PC players out.
Oh, I won't.
The beta is in August for PC players.
That's right. It's in August.
Sometime in August.
You got PC's going to be a little bit later.
Don't treat us like... Look, I will go create my own community and leave here with the PC players if you keep treating me like a second-rate child.
I will have Grex create a site for you. What color do you want your theme to be?
Okay.
Blue? Pink? Yellow?
All I know is, I do the GRG social media for the most part. And this afternoon, all I had to do was read nonstop Twitter feed explosion of Destiny 2 beta. And I personally, I'm not a beta player. I mean, we talked about before with the Halo beta with Crackdown, and I'm like, I'm not playing the beta. I'm playing Crackdown. I'm not a beta player. And I'm going to get flack for this. And I know Destiny's a great game. Those people that are Bungie lovers, that beta could be a piece of shit, and they're going to say how much they love it, because they just, whatever Bungie does, they will slurp it up. And that's what I saw a lot of today, was people slurping, and instead of getting true feedback. Unless the game's that great, maybe it's that great and I'm wrong, but it just seemed like I was getting a lot of slurping today.
I've heard a lot of positive word about the changes to Crucible mode, to the online PvP, the team-based scoring versus individual scoring, a lot more team-based there. There are stats for individuals like ratio, kill ratio and efficiency ratio, I believe. I was still trying to figure out all of those different stats coming out, and I think it'll come together more when I sit down and play it. But it was an intriguing concept where they're trying to really make everything team-based as far as your numbers, with the exception of efficiency.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out. I kind of wanted to stay away from it, but I guess I probably should show my face since the GRG thing and all. But I'm probably the most interested in the PvP aspect, the Crucible. Go figure. Was my favorite part of Destiny 1. I loved the Crucible. I loved Iron Banner. And so I like to see the changes they're going to provide with this one, the update. My only bitch is it's down to 4 versus 4, which compounds our problem of always trying to fit more people into a party. They, while it may be a better, for gameplay or whatnot, it's just hard for me when, you get all these people wanting to join your party. And, I only got 4 slots, or I only got 3 slots, for people. So that was a little bit upsetting. I don't know if I'll try this strike. I may, and maybe this story. It's really something I kind of would rather experience when I actually get the game in hand. Because I will get this game. I already got it pre-ordered. I already got the DLC pre-ordered, which I said I would never do again. But
sucker.
But I know I'll play this. I mean, this isn't like the Division where I got really hoodwinked. I played a lot of Destiny 1 to warrant the price of admission for that. So I know I'll play Destiny 2. It's going to be huge with our group, and there'll always be someone running something at some level. But so I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. I'll probably be on playing some Crucible and checking out those changes, and of course playing the only class in game, the Hunter.
See, I haven't pre-ordered just because I'm still not sure if I'm doing PC or Xbox on it. I mean, I'm likely going to do PC, but I'm a little torn that side. So it's kind of, if not, I'd pre-order it by now. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Have they really? What's the PC specs? I mean, it's from what I understood, it was pretty steep.
Yeah, well, I can run it, so that's all that matters. I don't give a fuck about other people. I care about me. Jeff, do you have any interest in Destiny, or you're not a Destiny guy?
I'm definitely not a Destiny guy. Maybe I'll jump on the bandwagon with Destiny 2. We'll see. Definitely not going to be part of the beta, but we'll look into it once it comes out. That's for sure.
Just see how the feedback goes and go from there.
Exactly. I'm going to see how the community reacts and try not to be the last one to jump in. And
don't worry, Johnny will still be there around the same level as you, even if you wait 6 months to buy the game.
Well, there's an open beta starts July 21st, so
yeah, you might want to check that out.
Yeah, you may want to just download it, give it a spin, see how it goes, and about like Johnny being low level and stuff like that. The way Destiny works is people usually run 3 different characters, so they usually have somebody at some different light level, and you'll always be able to get somebody to group up with and run some missions with. And I also noticed with the GRG and the community itself is people are pretty helpful. So if you're running like some strikes and you need to like try to build up your light level or get some extra gear, just post in the forums, post in our chat, and people hop on and join in and help you out with that. People are pretty good about that.
Yeah, we got some guys that are really hardcore with that. So
like we were saying earlier, that's what the firms are here for. Whatever you're playing, just reach out, and you'll definitely find someone to join you up, right?
Yeah, we got a lot that like going through it over and over and over again. So, hello everybody, we are back, and tonight we have a special guest for our ReaperCast. We are here with the community specialist for Hi-Rez Studios, the makers of Paladins, Matt Marshall. Matt, how are you?
Not bad. Thank you very much for having me on board here. I'm excited to get out here and talk about Paladins a bit.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on. We really appreciate it. So to start off, we'll throw you a quick softball here. For those not as familiar with the game, it does have a pretty good following within GRG, but there are still some that aren't that haven't dove in yet with Paladins. Describe what Paladins is, and then describe your role with Hi-Rez Studios as the community specialist.
Sure. So Paladins is a team-based shooter, and it's not necessarily class-based so much as it is champion-based. Champion's what we call our characters in the game, and basically it's 5 versus 5. Each team selects the champion that they would like to play. And the main mode that's really popular right now is called Siege, which revolves around trying to capture an objective. And then after capturing that objective, a cart spawns, you push the cart and it blows up. And it's kind of, set up to be rapid fire, fast paced games. The time to kill, which, basically how long you got to shoot at someone before they die, tends to be a little bit on the longer side, but, not so long that it's a slog, long enough that it's not Call of Duty, for instance, where it's all map awareness and you poke your head out, you get shot, you're dead. It's a little bit more tactics and team focus based.
Awesome. Really fun game. We've had good times with it. So go ahead and describe your role with
Sure.
Hi-Rez.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, I am one of our community managers for Paladins specifically. It's myself and Alyssa. Hi-Rez Alyssa is her name. She's basically the lead of our department. And then I tend to focus mainly on PC, console, talking with the community, kind of any concerns they have. I bring those to the developers, work as a liaison, basically, but also kind of a lot of behind the scenes stuff too. Like whenever you're logging into the game, you'll see the menus and there's the panels that rotate. I help kind of change those out and coordinate the different sales. So it's a little bit of marketing, a little bit of PR, just a little bit of just kind of being a front-facing personality for the company.
That's cool. Jack is our big-time Paladins expert. He's a Paladins god. He claims to be, at least. If he plays Paladins like he plays other games, he actually sucks. But he tells us he's good. So
Yeah, apparently, and the rumor is I get a nickel every time I say the word Paladins.
yes, he says it a lot. That's true.
Of course.
I'm at level 27. I was yelling at Johnny last night, who is a bullet sponge, just standing there catching every single bullet.
Which champions do you like?
Oh, so far I have quite a few. For tanks, I like Torvald, although I haven't played him since you guys nerfed him or changed him or whatever. I haven't gone back to him. Ruckus for the 2 tanks. Ying is probably my main character. I have her the highest level, and I can definitely pull off a lot of heals with her. And I've been messing around with Ceres now.
Awesome.
Other heal. I usually play the support or the front lines because no one ever does. But then every once in a while, when I get squirrely, I like to run around as Lex or the new guy Zin, which I love Zin. He's awesome. he's great. So it's exciting. It's always neat because you guys seem to be adding new characters, new champions on a regular basis. And from what I read, you're going to have something like 40 by the time the game's released or some crazy number.
Yeah, as far as like the pace that we've been cranking them out at, basically the plan has been, pedal to the metal until we get to 30, at which point we'll probably slow down a little bit. But for us, slowing down still means 1 or 2 per month. It's our development process is a bit different, I think, than a lot of other studios. Part of it has to do with the free-to-play model, but basically, it's like we'll do like new champion, patch without a new champion, and we kind of follow that rhythm. And for PC, we're getting these patches out, every other week almost. And so for us, it presents a lot of work internally to kind of, traditional development. You might get that, it's a steady increase in amount of time that you're putting into things. And then you have that crunch time, and then it's kind of like a dead period after that. Whereas for us, it's just kind of, crunch time drop, but then right back to that crunch time. But it keeps things interesting. It's definitely, it's not like, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. It's not one of those things where it's like, people are being forced to work these long hours and whatnot. It's one of those deals where it's like we're all passionate about it. We all enjoy like what we do, and we have a rhythm that we're kind of in that works for us.
Yeah, the patches and the updates are just fast and furious. It's just stuff's always changing. The new characters, I've already seen. There's some new damage class coming out. A girl with a shotgun or something, or
Leon.
I didn't catch her. Okay, yes.
Yeah,
and then I saw
Leon.
there was a teaser today. Is that the same? That's another.
That's
character
another
coming
one.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly, I lose
goodness.
track of them.
Yeah.
Leon was the newest one. She came out in patch 54, and that patch actually just dropped on PC this past Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. So She just came out on PC. She was on the PTS for a little bit, the public test realm, and then console. Right now, we've got within maybe about a week and a half after PC, which has been, pretty tough to kind of get in that rhythm because we have to go with, work with the console makers and try and figure out, like they'll have things they want to see in the patches. Like we'll submit a patch to them. Every single console patch has to go through an approval process, basically, certification. And so, but we're in a good swing with them. So we've been getting things out to console pretty quickly. But yeah, so we have the new champ Leon. She'll be on console shortly. And then the new champion that was teased is a new support champion whose name is Genos. And there's more to be revealed about him. It's kind of like a short little tease they had up for DreamHack, which is going on right now, where we're kind of got a lot of cool announcements coming both today and tomorrow, and I think even the next day.
That's cool. So going the free to play model is always an interesting, choice within companies, and more and more games are going that route. What I think's been pretty good, and if you want to expand on it at all, is that you put that founders pack out there, to obviously earn some cash in there, but it's been at such a reasonably priced to get all that content that I'm sure you have probably a very good number of user base that are going ahead and supporting and buying that founders pack rather than just going the free to play mode.
Yeah, it's always an interesting thing to, especially with free to play games, to find out, what constitutes the right amount of value for your audience. At what point does what you're offering become appetizing? And I think for us, we've had to play around with that with the Founders Pack. I don't know if anyone remembers way back for PC. We've tried a couple different configurations for it before we arrived at the one we're at now, where the Founders Pack will get you, all the current champions, but the cool thing about it is it gets you all the future champions too. So, it's one of those things that the value continues to grow. And you also get the in-game currencies, you get, exclusive skins, mounts, stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a pretty popular deal, and the new Realm Pack that we just came out with is sort of like a smaller version of that for people who maybe don't want to go all in on something like a Founders Pack, but they want to get a couple chests and an exclusive mount for $5.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I know. $20 to me, that's a night at the movies, and I'm like level 27, put how many hours into this. So in fact, I even bought the gems, or the diamonds, because I wanted some skins, because there's some badass skins you guys are creating. I have the new replicant one for Ying.
Oh man, I love that one.
That's awesome. Yeah, since I play her mostly, I'm like, oh, well, I got to have that.
The voice packs what does it for me, That's something I'm glad that, like, for more and more skins, we're starting to do more voice packs with them, to kind of like give that character that extra little bit of personality that's, different from the core character.
And I do love the artwork. It's a little bit different. It reminds me of like a World of Warcraft, like you're fighting in that style. Like some of the houses look very similar to that kind of graphic style. And I just like it. It's fun to play, and the maps are colorful and pretty well laid out.
Did you get a chance to watch any of the DreamHack Valencia announcements at all yet?
No, not yet. No.
So one of the things we teased, and I can talk a little bit about it, is actually I can talk a lot a bit about it, because you guys, by the time people hear about this. So basically there's a map called Quarry, which is coming out, and it's a really, really cool map. And basically it is trying out a lot of new design ideas. On PC, there's a test map queue where our users can get in and try out a lot of these maps that are kind of like in progress. And maybe it's not like the exact map that is going to be released, but it's the same concepts and ideas. And so the test map, formerly known as Grotto, is what became Quarry. And it's basically this kind of like goblin gold quarry where, they're excavating and mining and stuff. So it's got all that like mining equipment, and there's a Ruckus rework that's coming along with that to kind of make him fit that fantasy theme a little bit better. And so it's kind of our foray into more themed maps where, like, for instance, Bright Marsh was one of the last maps that we brought out. And that one was much more detailed, I think, compared to some of our more original maps, because we've kind of really started to narrow in on that design that, that our art department and our design team and the guy who's doing our lore currently have really settled on. And, so yeah, Quarry is the new map coming out, and I think that people are going to like it a lot. It kind of continues with that theme that we've had.
Are you at liberty yet? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Even though John, I put because we're professionals. See, this is where I do my thing, Matt.
Yeah, this is where.
And I put in our chat as a professional that I had something. Then John just go. No, don't, John. You go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to ask because he kind of moved into one of our plan questions. Or you kind of touched on it. So I just wanted to ask, are you at liberty to kind of give a ballpark how many maps you guys are looking at when all is said and done, or at least the preliminary set?
Sure. I mean, I could talk a little bit about it. Honestly, part of it is, I think even we don't know how many we have in us. But it's one of those things where I think we'll continue to hammer them out at any given time. We're playing around with, at least 4 or 5 maps internally that, maybe they'll see the light of day, maybe they won't. But it's something that we're always experimenting with. I think that, for us trying to make these maps have more lore, have more unique ideas to them, I think that the time between maps is going to be a bit longer than it has been in the past, because there's a lot more work and I think detail going into these. But like right now we have 9 siege maps. We have 2 maps that are used for onslaught mode, and which was previously survival mode. I don't know how many will get out this year, but as far as I know, and I could be wrong, but as far as I know, I think we just plan to keep cranking them out so long as we have the interest there and the people with the ability to keep doing it.
It's great to keep pumping that stuff out. So I'm going to ask you a question that I'm sure you have to deal with often with fun. And actually, as a professional, I did my research, and you always hear the dreaded O word comparatively to your game with Overwatch, even though I know from my research that this was an idea basically based off of Team Fortress long ago from the research I did on that. Is that something that you concern yourself within your community, that you're dealing with people comparing the two all the time, or you just try to focus on your deal and people are going to say whatever they're going to say?
Sure. I mean, it's a bit the latter. I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, is it similar? Sure. Okay. I think Overwatch is a great game, and internally, there's definitely, we don't have any sort of like animosity or anything like that. Honestly, I mean, for us, it's a flattering comparison to be compared to, such a polished AAA studio. Mm-hmm. They put a lot of time and work into their games, and it shows. And so, it's flattering to be compared. But I mean, and like you said, if you've played the game, you've looked into it, you can see there's where the differences are. And a lot of the ideas, it's true. It goes back to the kind of the granddaddy of it all, Team Fortress. And even going further back, a lot of the ideas in our game are actually pulled from very, very old Hi-Rez games, such as Global Agenda, Tribes Ascend. Some of these mechanics are pulled from that. But I mean, like, Hi-Rez as a studio is a studio that was made by gamers, and it's filled with gamers. And I think you do see people who, they'll go out and they'll play a game and they'll find something they like in it, and like, okay, this is a really cool thing. How do I make this work, like with my own touch? How does it work with my character if I wanted to make a character? And so, the game design process as a whole is something that I think there's certain archetypes that are always going to pop up. I mean, how many big guy with a hook do you see in various games, whether it's, Warcraft or Dota, Pudge, Overwatch has big guy with a hook, Battleborn, big guy with a hook. So there's certain things I think that just the mechanics work together and they're fun together, and people want that.
Yeah, and that's a standard thing too. I mean, you think in any industry, even the gaming industry, years ago, Call of Duty reinvented multiplayer with perks and everything, and then everybody else, adjusts off of that and adjusts off of what the audience wants.
Because it's fun, it works.
Yeah. So you take those ideas that work, and then you try and adjust them to what your vision is. So, I could see that, where you're taking an old popular game and you're like, okay, what can we do to improve upon that, or take our story and work that way? So I totally get it.
Yeah,
Jack's doing over there because, he's Mr. Expert.
I see the big difference because I play both of them. I try to play Overwatch. I bang my head against the wall. I just, for some reason, can't grasp that game. I don't know what my problem is. But I like the fact that with Paladins, when you go face an opposing team and they have a certain build or class or different groups are running, you can adjust your champion to combat them. So okay, you got a lot of guys running with shields. We're going to run some wrecker and mitigate that. Or if you got a lot of heals, or running 2 healers or a good healer, you're going to run cauterize, slow that stuff down. And it gives you, like, in game, it gives you some options to strategize and work with your team and try to combat the team you're facing. And I kind of like that aspect. It's kind of like Smite, or it's the standard MOBA.
It's actually what drew me into it. Myself, I started as a streamer. I was, I came on, I joined the development team back around February. Prior to that, I was full-time streamer playing a ton of Paladins. And I want to say I had, probably 900 hours plus into the game before they brought me on. So I was a bit of a super fan when it came to that. But what hooked me was that customization, that, a little bit more depth to Paladins is how I felt, compared to some of the other hero shooters out there. And I'm the kind of person who likes that. I like the min-maxing, trying to figure out, the best build. And so for me, like the cards, the loadouts, and the addition of the legendary cards, like all those little nuts and bolts you kind of get in there and tinker with. That's what sold it for me.
Go ahead, Jammer. Tell him.
Oh no, I'm being nice to Johnny this part. We have a guest. I have to.
No. So Jammer usually just picks random stuff, and I yell and scream at him.
Yeah. Well, Jack is one of those that with MMOs and everything, he researches builds. And so, because as I've told you, my job is just to be a thorn in people's side. I just tell him that I randomly pick builds, just pick stuff because it drives him insane. Yeah. So that's my expertise right there.
I don't research them. I just look them up. I just see
everybody
else is running. Well, I don't make my own is what I meant.
That's one of the cool things, we have that feature where you can actually look up your friend's loadouts and then import them. Like, hey, I played my buddy. He beat my ass. That looked pretty cool. Let me go grab his deck he's using and use that.
Do they have any time frame right now with the beta? How long they think they're going to stay that way? I mean, nowadays, with early access, Arc was early access for 2 years. I mean, how many games are early access for like years and years and years and years?
Usually about 2 to 3 years, yeah.
It's the dynamic has totally changed because of early access beta, things like that, and releasing the game during that time. Has there been any kind of plan yet on when to do full release, or is that kind of just taking it and seeing how it goes?
So there's actually a really funny post. Hi-Rez is a studio. We tend to do things a bit different. We're kind of known for being a bit more frank and transparent when it comes to this. But there's a post that one of our co-founders of our studio posted, and I'll see if I can dig it up for you guys at some point. And basically, he just comes out and says, like, listen, beta is just a marketing thing. Like, everyone uses it. We use it. And yeah, I mean, like we're going to be more experimental during this phase. We're going to continue to make these big changes, try crazy things. But at the end of the day, I mean, it is, like you say, it's a marketing label. And it does serve a purpose. As far as like when we plan to actually move out of beta, I don't think we have a concrete date yet. There's been some things thrown around internally, but really for us, it's when we feel it's in that state where, we're comfortable getting it out in the wild, and, that we have a lot of the bugs that are kind of ironed out and everything's looking a lot better as far as like polish goes. And it's got that little bit of gloss to it.
So even though you're in free to play, I just, from my professional opinion, just don't mark it up to $60 like Arc and get the massive backlash that they're getting right now with that.
We have a lot of people who play Ark in the studio, so I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
Now,
free to play is part of part of Hi-Rez's DNA as a company.
Yeah,
It's
because
kind of
Smite
like
was that way too. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
and we don't have any plans to change that. It's free to play all the way through.
so do you think that as you move out of, I guess, you said that it's more of an experimental stage. That's probably a good way to describe it, at least from what we see as gamers, because this is a pretty polished game for what's considered a beta. Put that in quotes,
Sure.
but and it's been a lot of fun. Do you see the Founders Pack increasing, or maybe more like customization options, like the new skins and the voice packs and stuff like that, being more where some of the revenue stream goes in the future?
For us, we'll probably do something similar to like what Smite has done, where, when Smite released, their Founders Pack became the Ultimate God Pack, and it offered, similar value. It was pretty much the same thing. I think the dollar amount changed for Smite. I don't know if we have any plans to change that internally or anything, but it'll always be available in some form, I think, whether it's called a Founders Pack or something else. And as far as, continued monetization and stuff, that really boils down to our aggressive release strategy, which we'll keep up with. It'll be the same. We're just releasing patches left and right with new content, new champions for people to check out, new skins, that will drive the monetization, just to keep the servers up and keep us able to deliver on, that vision, I guess, that our designers and the community at large has put together.
Yeah, the one bitch I have about the game, I always got to critique everything and complain, is essence and the brutal grind to get essence. And maybe I'm doing something completely wrong. I don't know. I've been earning the gold and buying chests. For a while, I was spending gems to get the unique cards and stuff like that. I'm at the point now where I have a lot of characters. I just unlocked competitive, and I'm trying to unlock, learn some new characters. I want to make some new builds, but I just can't afford to buy
Sure.
the cards necessary. And is there any plans to change something like the way you earn essence or?
Sure. Yeah. No, you're not off base at all. Our initial calculations, I think, we brought essence out to kind of solve one of the problems we had. Well, we had a few problems, but one of the main problems was that with gold, the economy was flooded. There was a lot of people sitting on just like, hey, I want to spend my gold on something. And so we brought essence out, and at the time it really wasn't, I don't think it really achieved a lot of the goals that we were looking for. And so it's kind of just been a steady adjustment since then of, refining it to find a system that works and is fair. May I ask, what platform are you on currently? Are you PC?
On Xbox.
You're on Xbox.
I actually
okay.
own both. I actually have it on PC. My kid was an Overwatch player. Well, he plays Overwatch. He made fun of me, saw me play it, and wound up buying it. And he's like, "This game's great." And he's been all about Overwatch, so we have it on both.
All right. Well, then,
Xbox.
Cool. So good news then. If you have it on PC, go check it out on PC right now. That patch will be making its way to Xbox within the next week and a half. And we actually just brought massive sweeping changes to the economy specifically for that reason. And that was people weren't grinding out the cards that they wanted quick enough. It was, okay, you got this new champion. Okay, now you got to grind and get that essence to get the cards. And some of like maybe the older players weren't as affected, but like, the new player experience was something that we were concerned about. And I don't have the patch notes on hand right now, but if you look up the OB54 patch notes, there's a lot of economy changes, and it was to address exactly that. And the gist of it was that we offered more ways for players to get essence. And there's kind of a balance, and we talk about this in a dev talk that we did recently. It just should be on YouTube. It's myself and Garrett Hi-Rez Martini. We just basically took questions for an hour. And basically what it is we introduced them, more ways to get essence. We changed the daily rewards so that you get more essence through those, but I think you get 15 less crystals overall, because you get, for the daily logins, you would get, crystals on the last couple days. I think one of the last days we dropped that, but we brought in essence for that. So yeah, definitely. I'll see if I can get the patch notes up right now. I hate talking numbers if I don't have them in front of me.
Sure. Speaking of the daily logins, every day I log in. Every day.
He's good at that.
Every day for that and Elder Scrolls Online. I upgrade my horse or horses for my characters, and I log into Paladins. And
he yells at his staff. Those are the three things he does every day.
Well, I tell you guys to do the same too. Everyone's
like, you just yell at us.
Oh.
Do you get yelled at Hi-Rez? Because if not, there's 2 staff members right here that might be interested in coming over there instead of.
I got a resume ready.
Yeah. It's pretty good, honestly. I mean, honestly, like, one thing about Hi-Rez that I do like is that, it really, there isn't a huge hierarchy there when it comes to things. It's like, like the people in community have just as much of a say as someone who's like, doing game design. The head of the company, he's right out there with us. Our COO Todd, he's available on Twitter to the public. He's available to us. So it's very much a laid back atmosphere.
All right.
But here we go. I got these numbers here if you're curious about them.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure. All right. So one thing was we increased the drop rate of cosmetics and radiant chests by about 33%. We went in, we looked at the experience levels, and we made it so that you level up about 35% quicker now, or rather you require 35% less experience, which resulted in anybody who had already had X amount of experience. Basically, we retroactively granted you those levels. You know what I mean? Because you have one static experience pool, and it was broken up by levels. And by us shortening that, we just retroactively gave people those levels and the associated rewards. As far as card crafting, we dropped the essence costs of legendaries from 12,000 to 10,000, epics 5,000 to 4,000, uncommon 1,250 to 1,000, common 500 to 350. And it was just a lot of changes like that. Across the board. Some of the soft currencies, like some of the gold prices for cosmetic stuff went up, but the idea was to focus on shortening that grind and just making it easier to get levels and to get loadouts for your characters.
I seem to be getting the questions that I'm not sure how much you can answer them. So here's one more. Do you have new game modes coming down the pipeline?
The big one we have is Onslaught, which was just released. For console, it would have been, I think, last patch. You're on 53 right now, I believe. So I think, you're on 53. So I think that Onslaught was the newest one that's out. And I think for us right now, we're just going to continue to polish that mode and really, maybe get some new maps for it, get some, different tweaks to it to make it stand out, because the response to that has been pretty good so far. We saw pretty good numbers because we're able to, kind of look at the queues and see where people go. And, Siege is definitely the most popular still, but Onslaught right now is been a close second for sure.
Yeah, Siege is my favorite. I think 80% of the people playing that are just random should be playing Onslaught, because that's really what they want to do, is run around and kill people. It amazes me when you see it. And that's one thing. I don't know. Can you teach some of these noobs the objective of the game? If you're a tank, get on the goddamn point.
Tutorials. That's one thing we
they don't even pay attention. It's just you bang your head and you're screaming can I get a heal, please? And they should be playing Onslaught, I think. That's a good mode for standard, just randoms that just run around and want to kill.
Absolutely.
That's the frustrating thing, as obviously you as a gamer know too, is that if you have a game design that's, to be played a certain way with teamwork, and you're going, what's good about our community is we have a bunch of people that all know each other, and then so we kind of play together. But when you get into those random modes and people aren't doing really the role that they should be doing or whatever, that as a gamer, I'm sure you understand the frustrations that come along with that.
Oh, believe me, it's I'm just as frustrated, when I'm in the office and I like, all right, I'm gonna go play a game, and I get on, and the objective is just sitting there and everyone's running around and doing their thing. I'm in the same boat, and I mean, my job as community is to just basically look at the way that our players are receiving this, and when people have suggestions, like, hey, we need more tutorials. Okay, I take that back to the developers and like, hey, a lot of people are asking about tutorials. So, I mean, what can we do to make sure this is prominent? This is, in your face. And that's been something that recently we've been working at, is trying to get more tutorials out as far as like videos. And, like we have a series right now for like the in-game items, like when should you buy Cauterize? And it goes through and it explains, the use of Cauterize and stuff like that. But again, like you said, it's on those people to watch it.
Yeah. And that's all data that you see and collect too, is how people are playing your game to then determine what you need to adjust. In a sense, that's one of the things you monitor, especially in your beta, in a sense, is to see what tweaks you need to make to help that not be as bad of a problem, I guess.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, John, you said you had something?
No, actually, I believe Matt covered actually both bases with that last question. So I think that wrapped up most of what we had. Matt, I want to thank you for coming on. Really enjoyed talking Paladins with you. I think it's a great segment, great game, one that's really picking up steam in GRG. So thank you very much for coming on. Thought it was a wonderful interview and a great chance to expand more on this game.
No, I appreciate you having me on, and sometime in the future, if you want an update or something, by all means, reach out. I'd be happy to come on again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think we'll take you up on that. I think we had a good interview here, and it'll be interesting to hear more about Paladins in the future. I think this is one that'll keep gathering steam with the community as a nice...
Yeah, Johnny. I love this game, and you just really can't beat it. For the $20 for the Founders Pack, you get all these champions, and you have so many maps, so many different game modes, and a lot to do. It's a great game, and I look forward to the future champions.
Cool.
Another nickel.
I think you'll like them. I do. We got some cool things in the hopper we've been playing with internally that fortunately I can't talk about, but definitely if you like the more complex champions, I think you'll be excited.
Nice.
Johnny,
Awesome.
how do you find Paladins?
How do you find Paladins?
Yeah.
Well, you find it through your Xbox store, or you find it through Steam, or through the PlayStation store.
Right? Okay.
So,
I just want to know, that way if I was interested in checking it out, not even though I played it, but if I was interested in checking it out after hearing this awesome interview, I'd want to know how to find it.
oh, that's
So
great.
I don't have to go to Joe's Game Shack for it.
No, you just go right to the store on your preferred
Is that in Nebraska?
your preferred console. I was going to say preference. I was going to say preference, and then I wound up with preferred, so kind of mixed them together there.
And how much is it, John, to try it?
Well, it's free to play, of course. We just mentioned that a little while ago, and
Then
it's
try
$20 for the $20 for the Founders Pack, which is definitely worth the money, my opinion.
Yeah. After this awesome interview, they should jack it up to $40 because everybody's going to say we got to get it.
No, I dumped more than that to buy the skins.
All right. Go ahead, John. I'm sorry. I interrupted your mojo.
Oh, that's all right. No, we were just thanking Matt for being on. So again, thank you, Matt, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Cool. Thanks for having me.
We would like to thank Matthew Marshall, the community director for Hi-Rez Studios, for being on tonight. Great interview regarding Paladins, and this leads to our next announcement coming soon. You will probably be hearing in the next show. We have contests coming. We have codes for skins, and we have codes for Founders Packs. $20 value, we've got several, and we are going to be running some contests. Is it going to be on Twitch? Is it going to be on the show? Is it going to be in the forums or Discord? Yeah, probably. Stay tuned. We will be announcing that shortly. So check it out at grimreapergamers.com and also forums.grimreapergamers.com for the details upcoming for the Paladins giveaways. Thank you very much, Hi-Rez Studios and Matt Marshall.
I'm sorry, John. Is that code for we have no fucking idea what we're doing, or am I supposed to sound confident that we actually know what we're doing?
You have to give away all my secrets, don't you?
Oh, yes, we have this all very well planned out. Yes, just like John said.
Yes. No, we're devising a few things. We're fine tuning a couple things, putting the finishing touches on them, and soon the contest will be coming. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Coming soon. Let's see. Jeff, thank you very much for being on. Great new member spotlight for a not so new member, but someone new to the ReaperCast. We really appreciate you being on, and we hope to have you on another show soon.
Well, thanks a lot for having me on tonight. It was really great, and I will definitely take that invite and come back for another show for sure.
I don't think we can have him on during the winter, though, John, because I have a feeling that his internet probably freezes during that fucking cold up in Nanook of the North up there. So it probably has to be a summertime episode because,
it may have to be because
freezes.
he shared in chat the low temperature in Fahrenheit, and that belongs in the NSFW channel. That is not safe for human ears. or anything else on a person for that matter.
I just imagine they all walk around like the little kid in the Christmas Story, wrapped up with all that shit where they can't put their arms down, and like their whole town is full of them.
Everybody arms
We
out.
actually just don't go out. They're just gonna stay shut in. That's all we do.
Yeah,
They call 911 if someone falls over, help them lift them up again.
People come and lift them out.
That is cold, man. That is just awful. I can't even repeat the
Have you
number.
ever put your tongue on a flagpole up there?
As a kid, I tried it. It hurts with a bleeping word.
Oh, yeah. No, if we go back to video podcasts, we can have you do that live.
Yeah,
That's ratings. Awesome. Yeah. But thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you again. And
I'm so glad you volunteered to do that.
And as usual, thank you, Jack and Jammer, for being on and helping me navigate through this show, as always. Very much appreciated. We would like to welcome new members to GRG. We've had a handful of people coming in for all three platforms, Xbox, PS4, and PC. PC group's growing quite nicely. Battlegrounds is definitely helping there. So welcome. And again, if you want to be on the show, email us at ReaperCast@GreenReaperGamers.com or let us know by direct message in the forums. Next show is going to be recorded on the 8th of August. Probably be out the 9th. Check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/GrimReaperGamers. And again, forums.GrimReaperGamers.com for our main forums. Jammer, hit me with the Twitter.
It's grgamers.com. Spell out the .dot.
Has Ceiling Cat still followed us, or?
Yeah, Ceiling Cat follows us.
All right.
He's very angry.
Don't blame him. Stuck in a ceiling, I would be too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also check us out on Twitch and Mixer. Look for Grim Reaper Gamers on both streaming sites. We have guys streaming regularly. All right. I want to thank everybody for listening. Remember, check out that subscribe button. Whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, any podcast software you like, we're there. Stitcher Radio. We're all over the place, man. It's not hard to find us. Check us out on the website, GrimReaperGamers.com, if nowhere else. So, again, for Jeff, Jack, Jammer, this is Johnny Hustler saying, have a great couple weeks, stay safe, and never game alone.
Again.